The Dice Odyssey.
Hey there folks, welcome to the Dice Odyssey. I'm Cosman, and today we're going to talk about a family weight style game for 2 to 4 players that is still hot and heavily being played today, even though it was released in 2014, Splendor. Now this game is all about digging up gemstones and trying to get nobles to be impressed by your business and I guess your mining operation. And these are just representative of the gemstones you're going to be getting. Look at that. Look at that diamond right there and that sapphire, and interestingly enough, they look very much like poker chips. But hey, that doesn't matter. That's what the game's about, and a lot of people like it. So anyway, let me get you over to the table and I'll show you how it's played, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. The basic play of Splendor is pretty simple, actually. You get one action per turn. You get a number of actions that you can actually do on that turn, but remember, you have to choose from one of them. So, for example, one action you may do would be to take 1, 2, and 3 gemstones of 3 different colors. Keep in mind, you have to only take one of the 3 different colors specifically. That's one action that you can do. Another action that you could actually do is take 2 out of 1 stack. Now, the caveat is, depending on the player count of the game, you're going to have a certain amount of tokens in here, okay? It's going to change depending on the players. Now, for example, we're playing a 4-player game, so there's going to be 7 tokens of a different type. Well, if there's all 7 tokens in there, or a full stack, you can actually take 2 of 1 color, all right? And that's what would be one of your other actions. Another one would be to do what we call a reserve action. And what that's going to be is, let's say there's a card out here, a development card that you want to take. You don't want anybody else to get it, and you want to actually work towards paying it off and buying it and purchasing it and using its power without anybody else getting it. So let's say I wanted to take this high tier card up here. And as a matter of fact, let me go into that. Each card level is going to be tiered out as in 1 dot, 2 dots, and 3 dots. Basically advancement of low to high. Okay, let's say I want a high card and I want to purchase it, and it's going to take me 7 of these gemstones to actually purchase it. That might take a while, and I get the diamond development out of it and 4 points. That's what that number in the top left's for. Well, now what I can do is say, all right, on my turn, I'm going to reserve this. I take a gold gemstone, which the gold in and of itself is a wild gemstone. You can literally use it to represent gemstones of any other color, okay? So if you're down a certain color, you can use this as a wild card, so to speak. And you can put that into your den, okay? You can only have 3 of these on reserve at any given time. You have to keep purchasing them, so if you want to hold more, you can hold more, all right? So those are your main actions that you can take. The ultimate goal of the game is to get 15 points. First person to do that wins. But let me show you how you get development cards here, okay? So as you can see, for example, this development card is going to take 1 white gemstone, 1 blue, 1 red, and 2 black gemstones. You understand? So that means I have to start accumulating turn after turn until I have enough to purchase this off the board. But let's say right now that I'm going to go ahead and, let's say I have the gemstones. I've been accumulating them, right? And I purchased this card in particular. Now I receive the power of the red development. Understand? So what that's going to be mean to us is I now own this card. I paid for it with my gemstones, okay? And now we're going to flip over another card. Another mine comes out. Hey, cool, another red mine. Well, now that I have this, let's say I want to purchase something else, okay? Now this card here, for example, is going to need what I said a second ago, and it's going to especially need that little red gemstone. Well, the cool thing is now that I own a red development card, the need to get an actual gemstone, a red one, goes away because the development card takes care of that. It's like a little economic engine that you're building. You're actually producing your own red gemstones now, but only 1. So if I had a card that, for say, needed, 3, I actually would only need 2 because of my red development card, right? So again, that's kind of how it works now. There's no limit to how many of these that you can actually own. You can own 7 of these. It doesn't matter what color. You can own 7 blue, 6 white, whatever you want to do, okay? But the more of these that you have, the easier it's going to be to actually get development cards later on and not have to keep on mining for gemstones on the side. Understand? So, that's another cool thing. Oh, one other thing. You only have a hand limit of 10 of these, if I didn't cover that already. So if you end up at the end of your turn with more than 10, you have to discard gemstones down to 10. But the development cards you get to keep because you've purchased those. Now, another key thing, and mainly the last thing here, is going to be your nobles. Now, you notice that these requirements, they're similar to the development cards, but you notice how they're card shaped? That's because you have to purchase development cards. You actually have to have that amount of development cards, so 3 black, 3 red, and 3 white, to actually get a noble to come over and invest in your business. And when they do that, you get 3 extra bonus points, right? So basically, first person to 15 points wins. So what do I think of this game? Splendor for me, and specifically my wife, has become one of our top favorite games to play together. Now, I'm just trying to be honest with you. I mean, I play this more with her than probably anyone else. This is going to be a confusing statement, but don't read too deeply into it. This is a game that I could pull out with everyone, but I probably won't. And what I mean by that is, I tend to play with gamers that like a lot of theme, a lot of epic nature to their games. I mean, granted, you've got your filler games, I mean, like No Thanks and things like that you can throw in, but that is not something we'd probably play all the time, right? That's going to be a once-in-a-while kind of thing. Splendor fits into that it's like a perfect fit. It's almost like a Ticket to Ride category, and I think I've heard it actually referred to or even related to Ticket to Ride because of the set collection and some other aspects to the game, and the amount of interactivity you get, which I'm about to get into. But for my wife and I, it's a perfect game. Perfect amount of strategy, perfect amount of time. It's very brief, which is something that we need late at night. Look, we've got kids. If you're somebody with children, let me just speak to that crowd for a second. If you're somebody with children and you want a simple game like a Ticket to Ride, but it's going to be a bit quicker than Ticket to Ride in general, and it's going to be about the same type of strategy, then this game, I would say, is probably for you. I think this game is fantastic. The artwork is amazing. The Renaissance really comes out in the artwork. And you really need that because the theme itself is thin, if it's even really there at all. The mechanics are great. I absolutely love engine building games. And the fact that I can have a kind of an engine building productivity game in there in the space of 30 minutes, that's an awesome thing. Not too many games can nail that so perfectly, right? The set collection, the buying of the development cards, to getting your actual own, in a sense, your own business going. And come on, guys, who doesn't love poker chips? Especially ones that look as nice as this. I mean, come on, you just want to play with them the whole time you're sitting there. So yeah, I like Splendor a lot. The only caveat I would say, and maybe the only drawback, is that the interactivity is extremely low, okay? I mean, there's hardly any at all. The only time you're really going to be interactive in this game is when you're calling somebody out for taking a card that you liked. I mean, you've been working so hard getting these gems, getting your development cards going, and trying to get to those higher tier cards up in like levels 2 and 3, and then all of a sudden somebody either reserves it because they know you're going for it, or they buy it outright. And you're just sitting there going, you jerk, why did you take that? Didn't you know it? Well, you did know. You looked at my player board. My wife accuses me that all the time. Why are you looking at my player board? Why don't you pay attention to your own? And I'm going, honey, that's kind of how the game's played. You know, your stuff's out there in the open. What am I supposed to do? It's part of the strategy, you know. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something that's like Catan, that's got negotiation and trading and things like that, this is not that game. This game is simple, sweet. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And I think, and this is going to sound kind of strange, but I think it fills that middleweight filler category. It's not too meaty of a game. I mean, it's very simple to get into. I can teach this 3 to 5 minutes with 3 other players and get them going, and I've done that. And another thing, I said in my Bonanza review, you can go back and check that out sometime, that I did something really dumb, okay? One of the dumbest things I've done in gaming. I tried to teach Bonanza, which has definitely got a little bit more going on than this probably, to 6 newbies. Man, you talk about it felt like pulling teeth. I will never do that again, but with this game, that is thrown out the window because it's so quick and easy to get into. Very simple for people to understand. And on top of it, the cool thing is it doesn't really matter the player count. It doesn't really go too far up in time, right? It's here and it's gone. And you really feel like, man, I wish I had a few more turns to get going. It feels like it almost ends too quickly. But, not everybody's really said that. Most reviewers think this game is great, and I have to say it deserves the high praise. So, yeah, is this a must-buy? Absolutely. For me and my wife, we got the kids. We've got them, we put them down for the night, and then we want to do something, like play a game or watch Doctor Who or whatever late at night, because that's our time together. And Splendor, I'm finding out, is coming out more often than it used to. I mean, more often than most other games we have. My wife, her favorite game was Carcassonne, and we played the snot out of that game. And the first time we played Splendor, once or second time we played Splendor, she says, I'm starting to think this may be my new favorite game. So again, high praise from my wife, high praise from me, high praise from most of the community. And again, with one little caveat that it's not a very interactive game. You're playing more of a solo game, and you're just kind of trying to not let other people get your stuff. And that can be a wonderful thing, and some people may not think that. So take that into account, but I personally think it's a must-buy, especially for you families out there who want something like that. But anyway, that's going to be all for me. Thank you so much for watching the Dice Odyssey videos. We can't do these things without you. My name's Cosman, and please like, subscribe, and share, and please leave a comment down below. I'd love to get to talk to you. What is your favorite middleweight filler style game? Have you played Splendor? Is it a game that you like? Is it one you'd recommend? Please let me know those things. Thanks so much, and game away.